No matter what business or industry you're in, your customers go on a journey. And there are 6 stages to this journey. And in today's episode of We Do the Work, we're going to break down each one of those stages so you and your team knows exactly what your customers are going through and can build systems and processes, taking them from the first stage of being a prospect to the last stage of being a customer. Let's dive in. We Do the Work is dedicated to those who believe in the tenacious pursuit of their dreams. In a world where we aim to turn ceilings into floors, we dive deep into the essence of health, wealth, and relationships, uncovering that true fulfillment lies not in our achievements, but in the journey of us doing the work. When my wife and I were running our martial arts school, we made a decision that we no longer wanted to be on-site owners, meaning we didn't want to have to be in the building Monday through Saturday from morning to evening. And we really wanted to build a team who could operate the business, ultimately wanting to become off-site owners. One of my biggest concerns with making that transition from being an on-site operator to an off-site owner was asking myself, will my team treat my customers exactly how I would treat my customers if I was there? And this really took us down this pathway of creating a customer journey so that our team knew exactly, no matter where the customer is in that journey, these are the systems and processes that we've put in place to ensure that those customers stay as long as possible. When you create a customer journey, it really allows you to look at your business through the eyes of a customer. Oftentimes, as business owners, we're looking at it through our eyes from the business standpoint. But when you look at it through the eyes of your customer, you're really going to be able to meet them where they're at. In its most simplistic form, every business has to do 3 things. It's got to get customers, it's got to get those customers to pay them more, and it's got to get those customers to pay them more often. And when we're looking at the customer journey from a bird's eye view, we can figure out how to make those 3 things happen more seamlessly. This journey for me in the martial arts started when I was 8 years old. The first time I ever stepped on the dojo floor was March 15th, 1993. And I had a one-on-one introductory lesson with an instructor named Mr. Chin, which I can remember it clear as day. It was literally a moment of impact in my life. I will never forget that. I mean, I even remember the color gi he was wearing. It was red and it had black stripes going down the leg. As school owners, we should really be trying to create these moments of impact in our customers' journey as much as possible. And when you implement those, it's going to help you recruit more students, retain the ones you have, and ultimately increase your revenue. There are 6 different stages that our customers go through, and we're going to unpack each stage and what moments of impact or systems and processes that you can implement at each one of these stages, helping to move prospects from stage 1 all the way through customers at stage 6. This is really a framework that's going to help you improve the customer experience, because at the end of the day, students aren't going to quit if they're having an amazing experience at your school. So let's dive into those 6 stages. The first stage of the customer journey is awareness. If we want to turn a prospect into a customer, well, they have to be aware that our business exists. The awareness stage is really all about your marketing and the different moments of impact or strategies, systems, processes that you can implement at the awareness stage to get more people aware of your school. All comes down to your marketing, which is your word of mouth, your print marketing. If you're doing digital marketing with Facebook ads or Google ads, it has to do with your website, putting out road signs, having banners or feather flags, or even developing partners in education. Some of the best leads that you can create are through face-to-face marketing. And face-to-face marketing has been around forever. We call it grassroots marketing or, boots to ground marketing. But unfortunately, so many businesses shy away from this because it requires more time, more energy, and more effort. I always say if I'm going fishing and this person has one pole and I have 10 poles, I'm going to catch more fish. So in the awareness stage of the customer journey, we need to look at how many lines are out in the ocean. You should not be solely relying on one line of marketing to grow your school. Because if for some reason that line of marketing fails that month, you're not going to get any new enrollments. So awareness is all about marketing and getting multiple strategies out so we can ultimately take those prospects that are now aware of us and move them to the next stage, which is the consideration stage. Once somebody knows that your business exists and that you solve a specific problem that they might be having, they are now in the consideration stage. And besides your marketing, this is really where your sales process and your customer service comes into play. For martial arts schools, it's not just our prospects considering us versus other martial arts schools. It's them considering martial arts versus other extracurricular activities or just simply not doing anything at all. And this is really where reviews, testimonials, case studies can really shine. And it's so important that you lean into increasing your Google reviews. I always tell school owners to aim for a minimum of triple digits. I want you to be at 100 5-star Google reviews because as people are shopping around, one of the things they're going to do is look you up on Google. And they're not just going to see you, they're also going to see your competitors. And reviews are a great way for you to get the first at-bat, for you to get that first click. And having things like video testimonials on your website or on social media is another really great way to get people to consider you. Your blogs on your website and the education that you are offering on your website and social media are other strategies that you can implement at the consideration phase. Also, how your sales process works, what your phone scripts are like. Are you following up with leads quick enough? Are you really getting to know the prospect on the phone before they come in is also going to play a role whether or not they're going to consider you or your competitor. I'll never forget, I hired a program director, and after she had been onboarded in training, she started taking our lead follow-up phone calls. And the very first call that she made, I'll never forget, I was sitting in my office, she was at the front desk, and she ran over and she said, "Professor Chris, you're never going to believe what happened. I just booked my first appointment, and guess what? The call only lasted a minute." And she was so excited and proud of that. And while I was really proud that she booked her first appointment, what I had to explain to her is the fact that she was only on the call for a minute means more than likely she didn't build a ton of rapport with that family. We've got to make sure that our follow-up process is really strong during the consideration phase, and also the nurture sequence, the automations that your prospects are getting via email and text message are aligned with your brand and help to convince them that they should actually show up to the appointment. The third stage is the purchase. And again, this is where your sales process and your customer service really shines. For a martial arts school, things that you should consider is, what does that VIP experience look like when they first come into your facility? Are you giving them a tour? Are you asking them questions and really learning about their pain points? If you do some form of a one-on-one introductory lesson, or you offer some form of a trial, what does that experience look like for the prospect? And then, of course, you have your enrollment process, your sales presentation. What are the systems that you have in place in order to get the enrollment? And oftentimes, as business owners, we look at this through the eyes of the business owner instead of what are my prospects feeling when we are asking for the sale? At GrowPro, we often hear from clients, Chris, we're getting a ton of leads, we're getting, a ton of appointments and people are showing up, but we're really having trouble closing them. And what I always suggest to the school owner to do is to audit what is that first day experience really look like and feel like for that customer. Or if you're doing a 2-week or 4-week trial, what does the 2-week or 4-week trial feel like to the customer? Quick break to shout out one of our JV partners, Market Muscles. If you are in need of a lead generating website, there is nobody better than Market Muscles. Not only are their websites aesthetically beautiful, but they also help to convert traffic to leads. We have a great partnership with Market Muscles. Our software systems communicate together. So if you are in need of a website, be sure to check out our friends at marketmuscles.com. Back to the show. Now, once we get the enrollment, they then go to the 4th stage, once they're officially a customer. And the 4th stage of the customer journey is onboarding. And so many businesses drop the ball with onboarding because they're so focused on getting the sale. Once they get the sale, they go look out for another sale. Well, you wouldn't need as many sales if you kept your customers longer. And it's very important that we start with the right foot forward with the onboarding experience. So once somebody becomes a customer, when they're leaving that day, are they getting a new student welcome kit? Do you have their uniform in the proper size? Are they going to get automations? Have you set progress checks? Is there any maybe swag that you're going to give them? What does really the first 90 days look like for your customers? And that's typically what the onboarding phase is the first 90 days. And it's imperative that you indoctrinate them into the culture of your school and get them involved as much as possible, not just with coming to classes, but also the extracurricular activities that you might be doing in the school, such as events. So we really got to make sure we don't drop the ball during the onboarding stage. And this is really up to your program director and your instructors to ensure a smooth onboarding. After the first 90 days, which typically in most martial arts schools at the end of about 3 months, there's usually some form of a testing cycle, which is really great because this can help transition that student from the onboarding phase to the retention phase. How do we keep this customer long term? And this ultimately comes down to, do you have email and text message autoresponders? Are you asking for feedback through surveys or NPS scores? Do you have upgrade programs that your students can move to built inside of your school? Maybe you have a competition team that they might be able to participate in, and really getting them involved in the events and into your leadership programs are a great way to keep them long term. After the retention stage, we then have the advocacy stage, and this is the final stage of the customer journey. I don't know about you, but my ultimate goal is to make sure my customers are advocates of our business because they're so happy with the service and the value that they are getting. And when you can move a student and a family from retention to advocacy, this is really where your referral programs can start shining. You can start hosting referral contests, and they really start to feel a part of your community and family. And what's so great is once you get a student to that advocate phase, it starts the cycle all over again because now they're going to bring more awareness to your school. I really want you to walk a mile or two in your customer's shoes and really think about what is the experience that they are getting in the awareness stage, in the consideration stage, in the purchase stage. And then once they become a customer, what does the onboarding, retention, and advocacy look like? And when you build this out and when you train your team on these different moments of impact and processes that you've built, you will ultimately keep your clients longer. I'd love to know what your biggest takeaway was from this episode of We Do the Work. Drop a comment and like and subscribe if you haven't yet. We'll see you on the next one.